How you guys doing? You guys stopped clapping immediately. I like that. It's good to be here. My name is Janesh Rahlan. My Starbucks name is Abdul Ikbin Salim. When I really want to mess with the baristas, I tell them my name's Aladdin. I am Indian. I love being Indian, man. It's a great time for us, you know, just because we're having fun. We get all the people of color advantages like dancing and eating spicy food, but we're also richer than whites now. Pretty nice, right? You guys thought Mexicans were gonna steal your jobs. We snuck right in, dude. All right, the media had you worried. They were like, you gotta build that border wall. You gotta make sure that border wall's secure. And you guys forgot about the firewall. Here we are. It wasn't always like that, man. It used to be harder, you know, because I was born in India. Then my family moved here when I was 6. We first moved to Texas, which was very difficult for me because I was a nerdy kid. And I understand that's hard to believe now. I get it. I get that's not my look. Someone recently told me I look like a police sketch of a Jonas brother. But it's true. I was a nerdy kid. And after Texas, my family moved to Ohio because that's how my parents were making decisions at the time. They were like, we're going to take the racism of the South and add a little bit of snow. Let's see what happens. And we were living in Cleveland, dude, which was a very confusing place. Yes, no is correct. It was confusing because Cleveland used to have a really bad baseball team called the Indians, but nobody told us. So we would just go around town hearing things like, the Indians are really disappointing. And then you turn on the TV and they're like, this is Mark from ESPN, and folks, this is not a good year for the Indians. And I'm like, you're right, Mark. We just moved to Cleveland, dude. A few months later, we found out they had a team named the Browns. I was like, all right, guys, we gotta have a talk. And I love being in California, man. I've been here for 8 years now. I moved to California to work in tech because that's my birthright. And I do love how progressive California is. You know, you guys, you don't get worried about things that other states are so preoccupied by. Like my wife is from Tennessee, where last year they passed a bunch of anti-drag laws. And their whole rationale, they're like, these aren't American values. It's not what the founding fathers would have wanted. The founding fathers would have hated drag queens. And it's like, dude, the founding fathers wore wigs, blouses, and blush. Yeah, every day. These were some baddies, okay? As far as I can tell, America was built by drag queens, dude. Their best friend was a guy named John Hancock. What are we even talking about right now? And they had classic drag behavior, dude. They got mad at the king. They started spilling his tea. And then they had that drag brunch, you know what I'm talking about? They called it a constitutional convention. But like we know, they were hammered, right? That's how you get the Bill of Rights. They were just standing there like, okay, so rule number 1, you can say whatever. Benjamin, sit down. Benjamin, sit down. Don't touch my gun. Get your hands away from my gun. Benjamin, stop. You know what? Rule number 2, don't touch my gun. And I'm just saying, you gotta appreciate being here, man. This place is awesome. And you guys, you know, you embrace all these different identities. I think that's so special. I didn't have that when we were in Texas. All my classmates all wanted the same identity. They were all real Texans, which could mean anything, right? You like going to the rodeo, you're a real Texan. You have type 2 diabetes, dude, you are the realest Texan. And they would always ask me, what type of Indian are you? Which some people find offensive. I don't think so. All right, because Indian people ask each other that all the time. Like, hey, are you a doctor or an engineer? And I'm like, oh, I'm a comedian. And they're like, oh, he's Mexican. And in Texas, they would ask you that. I didn't know what they were saying. I froze up, and they put me in ESL classes. All right? Here's the thing. I love these. It was me, 10 Mexican kids. All right? We were 11 brown kids in one room, dude. We became the school soccer team by default. It was amazing. But what's messed up is I ended up learning more Spanish than English, but I still had an Indian accent. So I was going around school speaking Spanish in an Indian accent, like, hola, ¿cómo estás, Juan? ¿Todo bien? Okay, todo bien. So after a year of living in Texas, I was walking around speaking bad Spanish and bad English, and that's when it hit me. I was like, man, I'm a real Texan too. All right, that's it for me, everyone. I'm Janesh Rahlan. Thank you.